So the complete whole generation template, which is containing all 16 sections, by using the include functionality, we will put everything inside the main template, and the main template will be assigned to the generation variant. It is always 1:1 mapping. Like I will show you. In this place, we use to maintain all the generation variants. And if it is a generation variant, you can able to see this is the template which was assigned. Template can be generated in multiple versions. So the information will be maintained with the help of the version also. The generation variant with multiple languages can be selected while printing the template. So in CG2B, in CG02, while we are trying to print the reports by using generation variant, automatically it will ask for all the languages it can support. Because we are using the phrase management and all, languages are activated already. You need to select in which language you want to select. In CG02, if it is spec, if it is trying to affiliate or something, it is always asking for the language. So see this, you can select whatever the language. You have a search help and you can choose whenever you are printing the report. There is a possibility to change the language every time, and you can select as per your interest. I need to explain more information regarding the SPT, how the business and how the authorities will function, what exactly the ECHA will do, all this kind of information. So I will give you the information very much slowly. If you don't understand, please let me know so that we can discuss more and we can try to understand the process and all. So this is all what I can do. Now, okay. What is exactly mean by SVT? SVT means substance volume tracking. Why we need to track the volumes of substances? Because it is applicable only for the chemical related stuff. If any chemicals or hazardous substances, it is a rule to register the quantities with authorities. Okay, we need to register with the authorities regarding the maximum quantities of these substances. Okay, when we need to register and why we need to register? Because if you're transferring chemicals into your region or you're exporting the chemicals to other regions, in both the cases, we are crossing borders. If you're crossing borders, you need to track the chemicals. It is a rule. It is a rule provided by the authorities. Okay? As per the authorities, we need to provide the track and we need to submit it to the government. This is needed and must and should activity. Especially if you activated the regulation for SVT, then we need to do like this. Okay? Generally, which is the regulation for European countries. Okay, each is a regulation which is from European countries. For it is a SVT kind of regulation. It controls the chemicals which are coming inside Europe and also that's it. Only it is taking care of the chemicals which are coming inside Europe. The chemicals which are going outside of Europe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take care at least. Okay. REACH always concentrates the chemicals which are coming inside. REACH means it is a regulation. What exactly it means? REACH, registration, evaluation, authorization, and restriction of chemicals. REACH means registration, evaluation, authorization, and restriction of chemicals. This regulation will deal for European region, means reg_EU in TCG 93. You can able to see the countries which comes under reg_EU. These are all the countries. Overall, 37 countries under the REACH range. All these countries will follow REACH. It is a must and should rule from European government. Okay. Due to that, all these countries will follow the REACH regulation, and they need to submit a report to the government how much chemical is entered into their companies from outside of the world, and the count needs to be maintained for each chemical. Finally, a report needs to be generated and it should be submitted to ECHA. Okay, ECHA is the authority which is present inside Europe region. Okay, ECHA, ECHA. ECHA, it is a authority which is present in European region, which can control this process. Okay, so what exactly it means? ECHA. ECHA means European Chemicals Agency. Okay, European Chemical Agency generally it is taking control from the European region and which manages the which manages the chemicals import which is happening inside European region. Okay, how a REACH regulation is controlling and what kind of it covers all the administrative aspects of the implementation, which is for REACH regulation. It will take care. So that is ECHA. If you're getting any difficulty to understand the terms or something, just let me know so that I can explain one more time. I don't have issues, but please try to understand it. It's a very complicated and tricky part, but unfortunately it is a dry part because it is involved with regulations and authorities and all. It's very common, but please understand this is a very, very important topic. Pavani, from this validity area, reg_EU, GB is missing now because GB comes out of reg_EU, but not fully. 5 to 6 islands of GB still present in the reg_EU. The remaining, the whole UK is already moved out of the reg. It is a very old system. It's happened in the last implementation was happened in 2013 or something. That is the reason you can able to see GB. But as per the Brexit, after the Brexit, SAP also implemented the Brexit solution, and GB is no more. It is present in reg_EU, but only for 5 to 6 islands the GB is present. Those are not seriously considered. So now there is no need to follow REACH in London. That's the reason they implemented the new regulation called UK REACH. They implemented the new regulation for their UK region. They implemented the new regulation called UK-REACH. The most famous country, which is generally copies other stuff. China. The regulation will be China range. Mostly, yeah, the countries which are also very much interested with the controlling concept, they also copied the concept from European region. They also copied the regulation reach and they just put their country name in front of that. Most of the countries are doing the same, like even though the regulation name is different, but the process will be very much similar to reach. Like if you think the country Turkey's regulation is KKDIR, it is also a copy of reach. Okay, reach only controls which are coming inside European region. It doesn't care about the chemicals which are moving outside, but a separate concept called in US region, in American region, the regulation's name is TSCA. Okay, TSCA. TSCA means TSCA. It is spelled as TSCA. Okay, TSCA. It is generally abbreviated as Toxic Substances Control Act of 1976. Okay, this is the regulation based on the SVT regulation. It controls the chemicals which are coming inside America and also which are going outside from America to and fro. It needs to manage. A report needs to be generated. The report needs to be sent to the authorities. So this is the process. Canada follows TSCA, yeah, the same kind of TSCA, that is DSL. Okay, regulation from Canada is DSL, but it is almost a carbon copy of TSCA. And what else is covered, right? Yeah, these are all called regulations. And the final thing, which is for Canada, it is DSL, right? DSL is nothing but domestic substances list. That is regulation for Canada. Like the same way, each and every country is having their SVT regulations based on the country's interest. We need to implement the solution in SAP. Why we need to implement the solution in SAP? If you implement the solution in SAP, companies will take this or registrations for their chemicals from the authorities. Like in European region, companies will take the registrations for the chemical substances from you, ECHA. They will provide 100 tons for a chemical. Then the production or the manufacturing or any other plant will not use more than 100 tons on that particular chemical. If it is coming closer to the quantity, we will get messages or sometimes blocks will be placed on the orders. So this is the main advantage. To manage the registration stuff, we are working with SVT, and also checks will be happened in multiple places. Suppose you are using a logistic order, unfortunately you already consumed around 99 tons of a particular chemical, and you the logistic team created a sales order or something, and when we are working on the sales order, in the sales order the chemical was involved around 1.5 ton. Already 99 tons are utilized. We took the registration for 100 tons. In the sales order right now, it is using 1.5 tons of the particular chemical. At the time, you cannot create the sales order. SVT checks will block the sales order, and you can't use the sales order for any other purposes. A block will be applied on that particular sales order. The block will be removed by SVT consultant in the team only. Then the information will be passed from logistic team to SVT, Unfortunately, we had a block on the sales order, and SVT person will mention, my dear sales team, right now the chemical was already crossing the threshold. So you need to order for a registration, new registration, you need to apply for that, or you need to reduce the quantity of the particular material inside the sales order. He will remove the block and he will send for the corrections to logistic team. This is the way SVT consultant always on the top who can manage the system. So this is the process generally happens. And also SVT solution will give you a complete report how much quantities of the material up to now or this financial year was used inside the system. If it is not, if some solution is really not controlling the business, controlling the chemicals inside the company or some plants, some audit goes, just if they identify something wrong with the registration, the authorities will penalize the companies. It is not 5 rupees or 10 rupees. It will be in crores, 100 of crores also sometimes. That is the reason. Companies are very much careful. They use it to implement a solution from SAP. It can be any solution. SVT is one of the solutions. That's it. So it will implement the solution. They will maintain the things very carefully. Everything will be managed perfectly by using the software. They are taking the help from software to manage their concepts. That's it. So this is the whole concept of SVT. Managing the chemicals means chemicals are entering inside the region or leaving the region, or what are the different methods in the process chain, how a material can be sent out of the plant. Gautam, do you have any clue how a material can be sent out of a company? What is exactly the process? How can you send a material outside of a company? In what scenarios we will send the material, whether it's raw material or any material? Why we generally send the material outside of the plant?
Because someone will buy it. I don't understand the question, Ramesh.
Yes, correct what you're saying. Someone is buying means you are
Selling.
yes. If you sell, the good will be sent outside from the company.
Yes.
If there is a possibility the customer is present in outside of the region, then you're crossing the border to sell the product. You're crossing the border, and at this time the regulation will be on track. If you're selling something inside in your region, no one questions. If you're selling the same good to India from Germany, then you need to report it you need to track the quantities and report it inside the report and it should be submitted to the authorities because you are crossing the border at the time. But Reach will not take care if you are selling something to other countries. But Reach is very much care if you are buying something from other regions, it is related to chemicals or hazardous. Okay. So if you're importing something from India, that is needs to be captured. So if you are buying, this process is called importing. Okay. There may be anything you are buying or you are getting something or I will explain all the scenarios, no worries. So the process is called import. If you are selling, the process is called export. The process is called export. You are manufacturing and you manufacture around tons of chemical. You need to report it, right? It is a chemical. It is not like ordinary thing. It is not a wheat or something. You are using chemicals. You are playing with chemicals. You are manufacturing them. You need to report to the authorities, right? The three processes are import, export, and production. Okay. What exactly the solution will do? It will warn you before a limit value is exceeded by comparing the recorded quantities with the limit values. What will happen if the limit value is exceeded? respective business process can get blocked, like the logistic order will be blocked. In the previous example, the sales order, it will be blocked by SAP system because the solution is already implemented on SVT. Sorry, in SAP. It is a kind of the business can be ensured. The process will run and it will stop, or it will stay the quantities under the threshold. So this is the main advantage for SVT. If you are very much interested with the history and all, I can explain better. It is like a boring part for me. You can also search in internet when the REACH regulation was started, what are the dates and all. You can search them internet. I don't have to mention the dates and all in the training program. I will tell you how it will work and what exactly it is. That is, which gives the best information in my view. So according to REACH regulations, they created too many articles like our constitution. Each and every regulation is also have multiple articles. As per Article 6 of REACH regulation, where this regulation provides otherwise, any manufacturer or importer of a substance, either on its own or in one or more mixtures, quantities of 1 ton or more per year, shall submit a registration to the agency. I'm not by-hearting all this. I prepared some notes for you. That is the reason. I'm just reading the information from my notes because this is article statement. You need to give it as it is. As per the Article 6, you are responsible to take a registration for a particular chemical, whether it is involved in a mixture, or it is an individual one, or it is involved in the manufacturing process or importing process or exporting process. Exporting they don't mention because REACH will not. They won't take care if it is moving outside of Europe. No issues. Even somebody will die outside of Europe also, they won't fail. Simply they need to protect their region and they need to take care of their particular region, which should be chemical free and everything should be under track. So if it is the registration needs to be taken if it is increasing a particular quantity. So if you're transporting a half kg or 1 kg, that is okay. Nobody will question. But the quantity is in bulk, then generally we need to report it to the authorities how the control was happened. Previously, there is no control. You can get you can take to Europe how much of quantity you want. There is no control. Slowly, the restrictions are placed on the businesses inside Europe. Like the deadlines were imposed on the businesses from 2010 December onwards. They imposed the REACH regulation slowly. Suppose you are importing around 1,000 tons inside Europe, then you need to take the registration. Okay, the first restriction was placed on 2010 December, and it is only for the businesses which are importing more than 1,000 tons. Please hear it carefully. More than 1,000 tons, you need to submit the reports. You need to showcase the tracking. You need to give the information to the ECHA. While coming to 2013, June, they reduced the 1,000 tons to 100 tons. Even though if you are importing more than 100 tons, you need to give the information to the ECHA and you need to track the information. You need to submit the books or reports to ECHA. So the restrictions are increasing and they are trying to capture everything and they are slowly imposing the restrictions. From 2018, they increased the regulations from 100 tons to 1 ton. All right. These greater than or equal to 1,000 tons. From 2010, they started this. After that, 13. Again, they reduced it to 1 ton. 2018. So these are the restrictions imposed by ECHA for the companies. So these are the reach deadlines. So after this, right now, people are taking the registrations and they are tracking the information for each and every chemical inside the region. So this is going on.